All right, well, today I wanted to talk about the top reasons that women reject men. Number 12, tattoos. Tattoos are pretty interesting. As someone who has many tattoos myself, I definitely think a lot of women find tattoos attractive, but some definitely find them a bit off-putting. I think it depends on the quality of the tattoo and on the placement for the most part. If you have very cheap-looking or trashy tattoos on places like your hands, neck, and face, those can definitely repulse a lot of women. On the contrary, if you have very high-quality tattoos, it can definitely be a big plus for a lot of women. I found that women who grew up in very rich towns generally find tattoos to be somewhat trashy and can perceive them to be lower class. I definitely think location also matters a lot. Tattoos are very common and accepted in cities like Austin, Texas, Las Vegas, Nevada, and California, but are less conservative in more conservative cities like Charlotte. So that definitely factors in. But overall, I think if you do have high quality tattoos that have a meaning to them and they're on a good location on your body, I definitely think they can be a bit of a cheat code. Number 11, being skinny. As someone who used to be very skinny myself growing up, now having a more lean, muscular physique, I can definitely attest that most women generally prefer the latter. I think most women ideally would like a guy to be physically bigger than them, and when you're too skinny, they just don't see you as attractive, and subconsciously may see you as less able to protect them. Number 10, unkempt presentation. You can actually be a pretty attractive guy, but if you let things like your hair and your facial hair get too out of hand, it can actually decrease your attractiveness and make you start to look a bit homeless. Most common example is a guy that lets his beard grow out too much to the Duck Dynasty level. I've also seen it when guys let their mustache grow too heavy and it covers their lips. I think a lot of women would just find it disgusting to imagine kissing that guy. I definitely think long hair and growing a decent beard can help attract a lot of women. But when it gets too unkempt, it can start to become off-putting to them. Number 9, acne. Having bad acne can definitely wreck your attractiveness. It's a debilitating problem that a lot of young guys face, particularly growing up. Acne can be very repulsive to women, but the good thing is that it's treatable, at least through either good skincare or drugs like Accutane. Number 8, looking old. When you start to look a lot older, it can be off-putting to some women, especially younger women in their early 20s. I think when younger girls see a guy who has, deep dark circles, sagging skin, or graying or balding hair, can definitely be a turnoff for a lot of them. I definitely think there are some young women that actually find a guy that is graying to still be attractive, considering they have other physical traits that offset it. And I think some guys can pull off the salt and pepper look better than others. But things like eye bags and dark circles can definitely make you look a lot older and can be a major turnoff for a lot of women. Number 7, balding. My experience as someone who was formerly balding and then shaved their head at one point in the past, just someone who has restored their hair through hair transplants, I've definitely found that the vast majority of women find men with hair to be more attractive. There are definitely exceptions to this, with a small percentage of women preferring bald men, but the vast majority definitely prefer a guy with a full head of hair. It just makes them look more youthful and frames their face better than a shaved head or a receding hairline. I can say I looked much, much older when I was balding in my 20s than I do now after restoring my hair. Number 6, race. A lot of women have a racial preference, plain and simple. It's not something that's talked about a lot, but it's definitely very true. There will be some girls that will only date white guys. There will be some girls that will only date a black guy. And there's just not much you can do about it as a guy. I think a girl's early experiences growing up and the location of where they grew up definitely shape their preferences into what they are later on. As an example, you could be a very attractive white guy, and there'll still be some women that would choose an average looking black guy over you, and vice versa. You could be a very attractive black guy, and some women would choose an average looking white guy over you. Like I said, and then there's going to be women that only date Hispanic guys. There's going to be some women that only date Asian guys. It's just, a lot of it depends on their early upbringing and, what experiences shape them. Number 5, small dick. This isn't talked about as much, but if you're a guy with a small dick, the very small dick, it's probably rough. You start dating a girl and you get down and dirty and she sees your fully erect 2-inch cock and then bounces. That's got to be rough. I think it's even more brutal because that girl may have liked everything else she saw, but she saw that you were a part of the 2-inch gang and she didn't want to join that club and pay the fee. It must be a hard knock life for the 2-inch gang. All joking aside, I think if you're at least 4 to 5 inches, you should be fine with the vast majority of women, unless she's a size queen. Number 4, bad teeth. I think bad teeth are probably one of the biggest turnoffs to women in my experience. Now, this could be extremely crooked teeth or like very yellow teeth. If any of you have ever talked to someone who has very crooked or yellow teeth, it's just like very off-putting. Like they could be the nicest person in the world and you're trying to pay attention to what they're saying. You're trying to give them the time of day. And I don't know. It's just like it's super off-putting. Like it's very distracting, very off-putting. And I definitely emphasize and still show them respect and give them a good conversation. But it's just incredibly distracting to look at. And it's hard for women to imagine kissing a guy when they have really bad teeth. And it also shows bad oral genetics and bad overall oral health, especially if the teeth are very crooked or they're missing teeth. Number 3, unattractive face. When a woman doesn't find your face attractive, it's game over. Now, this could be because of a recessed chin, a weak jawline, a really big nose, a lazy eye, eyes that are spaced too far apart. When a woman doesn't find your face attractive, there's just nothing you can do to overcome this except for plastic surgery. And the face is the first thing a woman notices about a man typically, and it's the first impression that's made outside of your height and other factors. And this is interesting because you could also have like a good looking face, but let's just say you have more of like a masculine looking face and a girl may prefer more of a like softer pretty boy look. And then vice versa, you could have more of a softer pretty boy look, but a girl likes a more, say, hyper masculine face. Number 2, height. Height's one of the first things that women notice about a guy. It's right up there with face. Most women have a height preference, and a lot of women, especially these days, have a "you must be this tall to ride this ride" requirement. And being taller is a massive advantage in the dating world as a man who's over 6 feet myself. And it's very known that women like taller guys at this point. They just find it more physically and sexually attractive. And genetically, it shows that you could potentially give them taller offspring. It also makes women feel more protected, which, in all honesty, is somewhat bullshit, as some of the best fighters are nowhere near 6 feet tall. But that's the impression that women instinctively have of taller guys in the moment. And I can't tell you how many girls that I know or I've dated that have told me that they set their online dating filters to 6 feet or above, or that they only date guys over 6 feet or over 6'2". I've even heard I only date guys that are 6'3". Height is just extremely important. And like I said, you don't have to be a guy that's 6 feet tall to attract women and have a great dating life, but it certainly definitely really helps. Number 1, being overweight. As a former fat, balding, Cheeto-stained sub-5 male, I can definitely attest that a lot of women reject a man because he's overweight. When you're overweight, fat shrouds your facial features and gives you a double chin. It makes you just appear super bloated. So when a girl looks at your face for the first time and she sees that like massive double chin, chubby cheeks, the vast majority of women are just not physically and sexually attracted to that. And when you're overweight, especially when you're noticeably overweight, it just makes you look like you're not in good health. And I can say the most I have ever been rejected by women was when I was at my heaviest. And I think most women prefer either a lean physique or some sort of a lean muscular physique. The good thing about all these reasons is that a lot of these you can work on, especially being unkempt, acne, looking old, balding. A lot of these you can fix. You can fix over time. Bad teeth. You can improve your face. You can lose weight. So it's a lot of these reasons, a lot of these physical reasons, outside of your race, your height, certain facial features. Like you can improve a lot of these aspects to become a more physically and sexually attractive man. Well, that's my top list of physical reasons women reject men. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, feel free to comment down below, and feel free to subscribe. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care.